Jester is back with another review. This time, we are reviewing the Big Buck Hunter Pro by Arcade 1-Up. And here it is, guys. It's a very nice looking cabinet. Arcade 1-Up released two versions of this cabinet, Big Buck Hunter Pro and Big Buck World. Now, they're basically the same cabinets, just with a little bit of different artwork on them. So why don't we take a closer look at it and see what it looks like. All right, guys, so getting a closer look on it, you can see the artwork on the side is really nice. The vinyl graphics is really, really clear, very well done. Now we move around to the marquee. Now, unfortunately, the marquee is not a light-up marquee. It's just your basic board marquee. Okay. Now, when I first seen the cabinet at the very beginning, to me, maybe I'm crazy, but I could have sworn that it looked more like a tin marquee on this, and it looked more three-dimensional to me. But I don't know if that was just a rendering at the beginning, but it seemed to change and it just turned into the wooden marquee. It's not bad. It doesn't look bad, but I like the rendering of it better, the tinner look of the marquee. But that's a small little critique, not really that big of a deal. I mean, the marquee still looks pretty good. Moving down to the screen. Now, here's the gripe that almost everybody has with this screen, and I have to admit, I have the same gripe. And you know what I'm going to say, guys. It's a bit small. It's not a deal breaker. The gameplay is really good, and we'll show that in a little bit. But the screen is a bit small, especially when you're getting into gameplay and you're trying to focus in on smaller things, smaller targets, especially when you're standing back about 6 or 7 feet from this thing. It gets a little hard to see, especially if you have older eyes like me. Maybe some of you younger guys, you can see it really clear. I mean, I'm up very close now, so it looks pretty good. The further back you get from this, especially when you're trying to hit things like deers, where you have to find the ones with the antlers, you got to get the bucks, and you got to see the antlers, it gets very hard to see it from a distance. So that's the only problem with that issue. Now, moving down to the control panel, they did the control panel good. I like everything they did here. The speaker looks really good. There's pretty good sound coming from the speaker. And you basically have your same on-off switch like you do on all the Arcade 1-Ups, and you have the adjustable volume. Okay, and no problems with that. Like with the Miss Pac-Man cabinet, when you turn the volume 0, it does go off. So there's no problems with that. So that's good. Just want to move down. We'll take a look at some of the games that they have in here. Now, they have Big Buck Hunter Pro. And then you have Big Buck Hunter Pro Open Season. And you have Big Buck Safari. And Big Buck Safari Outback. So you do have a plethora of games to play with. And the one good thing I like about this also is, included within those games, there's bonus games. There's target shooting, things like that they kind of mixed it up a little bit. So instead of just, you know, shooting animals and stuff like that, there's some target games, some target, different things that you can kind of shoot at. So it kind of makes it a little bit, we'll show a little bit that when we get to the gameplay. The guns themselves, they're not bad. They are really, really light, though. I mean, it's almost like if you ever went into a dollar store and picked up like a toy gun, it's really, really light. When I first felt these, actually, it felt very cheap to me. But they're not bad when you use them. The Sinden Light technology actually is pretty good on them. It's responsive. It does work very, very well. So once you get into gameplay, you kind of forget about the cheapness feeling of these guns, and you just kind of get into the gameplay. So it's really not that bad. But when you first do grab them, they are a little light. There was one problem that we had with the cabinet. There was a couple of pieces of board, especially the top piece, and one of the inner pieces was a little buckled on this cabinet, a little warped. So it made it a little hard to kind of put this together. This took a little longer for me to get together than some of my other ones. I have about 8 or 9 of them in here now. But this one took a little time to get together because of the warped boards, the 2 warped boards. The top board on the top here was buckled. And on the inside, one of the bracing pieces was a little bit cupped. So it made it a little hard to get it together. But in the end, it took a little finagling, but we did get it. It worked out all right. One other thing I wanted to talk about too was at the very beginning, the guns work really, really well, but you did have to calibrate them. At least I had to calibrate mine at the beginning. It was off quite a bit. So just keep that in mind, that you probably are going to have to calibrate it. And one thing too, it's been discussed many times, the white border around the screen. It is a bit of an eyesore at the beginning. It's what's needed for this Sinden light gun technology to work properly. It's so it can focus in on what it needs to with the camera. But after a while, when you're playing, you don't really see it anymore. It kind of disappears after a while. But at first, it is a little different because you're used to looking at all the other Arcade 1-Up screens, and when you first see that come on, it is a little odd looking. But believe me, you don't even see it anymore after a while. All right, so that's enough of that. Let's get into a little bit of gameplay. All right, guys, so let's get some game action here. Let's see. We'll do the first one up there. So the gun's pretty accurate. Actually, at the very beginning, you had to calibrate it a little bit. It was a little bit off. Not bad, but it was a little bit off. See, I'm not really good at this at all, so let's try the bison.
Let's go hunting. Welcome to Bison Adventure.
Bison Adventure.
Bison. Arizona. Pump to reload.
Yeah, pump.
Pick a spot.
Good Lord. God. Oh my Lord. This is not good, guys. Alright guys, I changed the angle of the camera so you can get a little bit more of the gameplay. Let's see how this works here. It's tough to do it with the tripod in front of the screen, but we'll see. Let's try some of the bonus only rounds. It's pretty cool that they put these in. It gives you a little chance to do something different than shooting bison and deer. Let's see what they have here. Pappy's Moonshine. That looks pretty good. Let's try that. Shoot the jugs. Let's try it. I'm gonna take the one right out of Pappy's lap. There we go. Oh. Uh-oh. $12 of $25. Wow. Looks like I need a trip to the optometrist. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, it's nice that they gave you a little different games instead of just the deer and pie in the sky, pheasant hunt, log yard. Let's see what the log yard is about here. Shoot the targets for bonus. Let's see. Oh, wow. I did pretty good on that. That's not too bad. 18 out of 25. So I'm standing about right now, I guess it's about 6.5 feet away. Mars needs cattle. Let's try that. Mars needs cattle. Shoot the UFOs. That looks pretty cool. Wow. Sometimes it's tough to remember that you have to pump it every single shot. $14 out of 25. Yeah, so like I said, the bonus games are kind of cool. See what else they have. Quail Hunt. Windmill Mama. Oh, Windmill Mania. See, like I said, you see, the only problem is that small screen. Now I'm standing about 6.5 feet away, maybe a little, well, yeah, a little less than 7 feet. And it's tough for me to read that. I mean, I got older eyes and everything, but I mean, it seems that it's a little blended together. I just wish that screen was just a little bit bigger. Other than that, I mean, everything works fine. Mugshot. Let's try that. Everything works fine. It's very responsive. I mean, it's fairly accurate. It's just my eyes aren't accurate, I think. It kind of reminds me of a tapper. Jeez. Good Lord. Oh my God. That's horrible. One other thing I wanted to get into, guys, is one other thing that was in the box. Now, maybe I missed this on the write-up, what was included in this Big Bug Hunter Pro. But when I opened the box, I found this in there, and I didn't know this was included, but they included a tin sign. And I mean, it's a heavy-duty tin sign with the Big Buck Hunter Pro logo on it, or graphics, I should say. I mean, I was really surprised when this was in the box. I didn't know this was even in there. I mean, this is really a cool-looking piece, too. It's heavy. Let me tell you, it's heavy. And they even give you the screws and mollies to hang it on the wall. There's 4 holes in each corner. Okay. And the way they did the graphics, I kept the plastic on it right now because I'm not going to put it up right now. But if you look, the way they did it to look like galvanized metal there. And they made the graphics look like it was painted on and it was wearing off. Well, you know, kind of like this was on the side of a barn for a couple of years or something. I really like it a lot. It really was a surprise piece. And I'm glad they put that in there with it. All right, so I just wanted to show that to you guys, and that's going to wrap up this review. Jester Tester saying, be well, happy shopping, guys, and until the next review, we will see you.